Hi, this is a very short brief overview of RMS software. RMS can do work processes from seismic to simulation. Specifically, it can do seismic interpretation, geological interpretation, it can do mapping or structural framework modeling, geological modeling, flow modeling, and export to the simulator of your choice. It can do well planning, optimization, give well prognosis, and use real-time data from the rigs and do drilling and geosteering. And visualization, quality control, data cleanup is of course a very important step in these processes. So now let's look at the interfaces. So this is RMS. The main part of RMS is of course where the data is. The data is organized in a tree-like manner, the data tree, and here you can dive into your data and you can turn them on to visualize data as you wish. You can visualize seismic, wells, all kinds of data that you have. The way you organize this data is mostly up to the user. I like to have it in this fashion, where I have seismic on top left, then the wells and the well plans, the well pics. On top right I have my shortcuts to my collections of data, intersections and fences, maps and structural models, and below I have the grids and the other data I need for geological modeling. And at the bottom we have other areas like libraries, icons and color tables, etc. RMS has a series of different views: 3D, 2D, 1D, correlation view where you can show all the well data, map view for maps, 3D view, and intersection view which you can show, for example, intersection view of a well and show some maps crossing, a grid, and for example seismic. So these are the different views. All the views that you make are stored in your views list, so you can take them up later if you like to, and you can organize them into your folders and keep them for later. If you like a more data-centric list view of your data, Explorer is the way to go, and here you can query your data after the different attributes. Quite useful if you have a lot of wells, thousands of wells, or other data and you like to do queries on them. The most important part when people use RMS is actually the workflows. The workflows comprise of a series of jobs or operations, if you call it. Each operation or a job has its user interface and the settings that you have set up. You can in this way combine many jobs and keep the workflow with the jobs for later. We also have Python scripting in the workflow. So here I've added a Python script job. The Python code here accesses the data in RMS, and you can run it with the workflow. This is quite useful if you have special things you want to do or have developers in your organization that want to develop stuff inside RMS. If you like to attach user interface with the Python code. We call that plugins, and you can add that to the workflows also. These workflows you simply run interactively, or you can send it to a cluster and run it. I will show a short example of using RMS to make a fence through some wells and show some data on it. I start with a map view, go to my data, display the wells I want, and I have a map in the background here. And now I want to create a fence going through some of the wells here and see how we can display these surfaces on that fence. This is called a composite fence in RMS. I create it, I drag it to edit. That's the way you get edit toolbars in RMS. Edit icon. First I zoom in to find the well. I have a well H here. I have a horizontal well B5 here, which I must zoom in out a bit, and I go to the end of this well, and then I have a well G here, and I think I'll go to the end here. So that's my fence. I right click on that one, show in intersection view, and now I can show this fence in the intersection view. I will turn off the blue bits so I can see the wells more clearly. Here I have the well H, B5 and G, and I can now turn on my maps and, for example, a grid and seismic. One important concept is realizations. I can use the realizations player to display through the different realizations, and as you see, when I switch the realization player, all the views updates and show the right realization of the different data objects at the same time. In a rich application like RMS, there is a lot of functionality, and sometimes it's challenging to find the right functionality or jobs that you're looking for. The way it's solved in RMS is that you click on the data object and then you get the list of operations relevant for data object. Alternatively, you can do right click and do tasks, and you can do that nearly everywhere. If you want to change visual settings of an object, you can do that from the right click. For example, you can change the color of a map. If you have forgotten where the jobs were, you can actually search the whole job list, and you can quickly find the jobs. And you see that this log operation, which I searched, it has 4 different jobs, each with different settings that may exist in one or more workflows. Now a few words on how RMS organize data. The horizon and structured data are sorted according to horizons that you have set up in your project. This is set up in stratigraphic framework. These horizons are then available in the horizons folder. If you don't have data for certain map categories, those horizons will be empty. and the zonation can be hierarchical. For wells, it is very useful to make collections of wells so that you can filter your data tree. Here I show all the data that I have. If I have made a collection, for example, I have made a collection for drilled wells, I hold Alt down and filter the data tree according to that. So this was a short introduction to RMS, and hope you enjoy it.